The Meltdown Mayhem event brings temporary troops and spells, a gameplay twist, and an epic piece of equipment for the Royal Champion, so let's tell you everything you need to know. The event begins, for Town Hall 7 and above players, on the 8th of December, lasting until the 29th. When you first log in, there'll be a tutorial building into the lore we've had with the meteor hitting the Town Hall, which has now caused an ice age in which fire mites are hiding in the gold storages. That links into the gameplay twist, but we will help them by collecting ember medals, which is what you use in the trader shop. As ever, when you first visit the event building, you can get some of these and claim them each day. But when you first enter the event, you will be given a rundown. So we need to collect sleepy mites from gold storages. That's how we will progress along the track to earn the medals. And for regular battles, ice golems and ice minions will automatically be provided to your army. So you will straight away have enough for the Santa Surprise spell. You will need 1,000 points to get the Ice Wizard. You will get that straight away if you purchase the event pass, but 2,500 are required for the Ice Hound, 4,000 for the Bag of Frost Mites, and 6,250 for the Ice Minion. I'll run you through how each of those work once we've gone over the rewards and the trader shop. So as ever, it is 16,000 sleepy mites to get to the end of the track. The bonus track requires 15,000 to claim all of the extra medals, in which you could get 1,015 of them. This means, as a free-to-play player, you can get 4,115 in total. Should you purchase the event pass, you get an extra 5,500 medals. You also get 600 glowy ore and 80 starry ore. You can only get starry ore when you purchase the pass, and should you be doing so, you can support a creator beforehand by pressing the C and entering their code. My code is Judo, and it helps to support the channel massively. You can also enter this on the Supercell store, which if you make purchases on the store, you gain extra items such as gems. As with all of my videos, I'll have a link to the store in the description. The support is much appreciated. Irrespective of purchasing the pass or not, you will get the Smoky Stove event building, which is converted into a decoration. At least you always get this free one, but you'll see when we get to the trader shop, maybe you'll get another. You do, however, still get 4 Mighty Morsel magic snacks. This is great because you can test out the new Frost Flake equipment to see if it's something that you would personally use in your attacks. A little tip with that, whilst the Mighty Morsel allows you to have 3 battles with maxed equipment, this number does not tick down in friendly challenges, so should you activate it, you can just friendly challenge as much as you want to test out that equipment. Obviously, you don't have to claim these all at once. You can stagger them across different days, which is nice when it comes to the Clan Castle cake. You can use them when you need them most. You should be able to get to the end of the track and claim all of these rewards pretty quick now that your attacks are split into battles and ranked battles, because even though the gold storages can't be sniped with a giant arrow or lightning spells, should you be using Mass Valkyries, made popular by General X, alongside the damage equipment on your heroes, you can take down bases very quickly, including the gold storage. And even though the gameplay twist is that they emit a poison, they don't slow down your troops. They just deal a little bit of damage, which is easily offset with the extra ice golems and ice minions that you get. Clearly, if all of the gold storages are slanted to one side of the base, you'd want to assure you're spreading your Valkyries and heroes from that side if that's your primary target, and you might want to just let the attack play a little bit longer so you take down those gold storages, not just quitting out of the attack as soon as you get to 50%. And whilst this gameplay twist of the poison being emitted from the gold storages is not in ranked mode, you still claim the currency from taking down gold storages in ranked mode. You even get that from your revenge attacks as well. So you can complete this event in whichever mode that you want, and should you be limited on attacks near the end, you can easily finish it off in regular battle mode. Once you have completed the event though, and you're ready to spend your medals, within the trader shop as a free-to-play player, I would always recommend getting the equipment. The new one is the Frost Flake. However, on offer as well, should you not have got them previously, is the Magic Mirror, Spiky Ball, Dark Crown, and the Lava Loon Puppet. Out of these, it really depends on your strategy. However, the Magic Mirror and the Spiky Ball are definitely the most versatile within strategies, and I would argue the strongest out of these as well. You can already get these for gems in the trader shop, but should you not be a Town Hall 13, you couldn't use the Frost Flake now anyway. Should you get it, you will be able to use it once you get to Town Hall 13 and unlock the Royal Champion. However, the other benefit of getting the new equipment is that those old ones can be obtained through chests as well. The new one, it would likely be a couple of months before it was in chest cycles. However, I would just recommend getting a piece of equipment so you don't have to use gems on it later. Whichever one you purchase though, as a free-to-play player, you will have 1,015 medals left over. You already get the event building as a decoration, but you will be 10 medals short of the Frozen Stone. It is just cosmetic. Obviously, they try and sell medals as well, but sometimes they give away them for free. Most of the time recently, that has been on the Supercell store, so keep an eye over there. But I will be sure to update you on my social media channels if there are any free medals. Within my YouTube channel page, you will see a link to all of my social media channels. They are the only ones that I have. If you see any others pretending to be me, if it's not linked there, it's not me, so just report it and ignore those channels. However, if you have purchased the event pass, you would be able to get 3 pieces of equipment with those extra medals, or you could equally get both of these decorations, the Frozen Stone being the standard deco, and the Hungry Hound being the super deco for this event. With any remaining medals, I'd always recommend or whichever you need the most for your upgrades, or alternatively, you could go with the potions. The research potion, I think, gives you the best value, but you can also look for the builder potion. Any of the loot-based items, obviously, you can just farm, so if you're an active player, that doesn't tend to give you the best value. Let's quickly go over the temporary troops and spells, though, before I break down the new piece of equipment. Now, one of these you can actually use in ranked battles, and that is the Ice Hound, because it is a super troop. Essentially, it is just boosted during the event, so you can take that alongside 2 other super troops. It's not like it has any stat increases, it's just that it is unlocked during this event. It does mean that lower Town Hall players can equally get access to the Ice Hound, which is pretty cool. It's essentially a bigger lava hound. It has more housing space, but it will drop a freeze spell once it is destroyed, much like the Ice Golem, and the Ice Pups will have a frost effect when they are attacking buildings. These are actually similar to the Ice Minion, which, as you saw, you get a couple of them for free anyway, added to your army. But you can only take these into battle mode, and you cannot bring event troops into your clan castle either, so you can't use them on defense. They are more of a support style troop though, targeting defenses. You can use these on the perimeter. They're only 4 housing space. They have that frost effect on the defenses, slowing them down, and then even when the ice minion is destroyed, it has a freeze effect of almost 3 seconds anyway, so it's a bit like a mini freeze spell that you can easily use to defenses on the perimeter. The other temporary troop is the Ice Wizard. Remember, all temporary troops and spells scale with your Town Hall level. You don't have to upgrade them or anything like that. So at Town Hall 18, they are level 13. The Ice Wizard is very similar to the regular wizard, just that it will target defenses. It has that frost effect on defenses. Whilst it has a tiny little bit less DPS, it has way more hit points. It's a little bit slower, so you can get tank troops out in front. Again, for battle mode, these will be great if you're trying to 3-star. If you're trying to farm fast, then they might not be the best troops. Moving to the spells, the Santa Surprise spell is going to be very helpful if you farm with dragons, because you can take one of these, drop it on top of an air defense, and it will wipe it straight out. So you can take the air defense out a little bit cheaper than should you use lightning spells and an earthquake. The Bag of Frostmite spell is a much better alternative to the freeze. This one is that single housing space. It doesn't freeze the defenses for quite as long as a freeze spell. However, you then get Frostmites spawning, which are jumping onto the defenses to slow them down. And ultimately, it's just way more effective as you're moving through the base. you could just take all Bag of Frostmite spells and you'll be able to steamroll bases. Remember, I want to reiterate that following the Town Hall 18 update, event troops and spells are not available in ranked mode. They're also not available in Clan Wars, so you can only use these in the regular battle mode. Moving to the Frost Flake then, the new equipment for the Royal Champion. It is an active ability which flings flakes at the closest defense to freeze them. Even at level 1, this is 100% slowdown. So just like a freeze spell, they are totally frozen. It says closest defenses, and that is what it means. It can reach across the entire map if that is where the closest defense is. As you upgrade the equipment, it is the initial projectile damage that is increased. That's not that big of a deal, but the slowdown duration is increased alongside the hit point increase of the Royal Champion. That is a hero boost, so active throughout the entire attack. But then at levels 9, 18, and then 27, the max level for epic equipment, that is when the number of targets increases. So at max level, it has 7 seconds of freeze. That is longer than a freeze spell. But the targets don't have to be in the same range. It's just 7 targets. They could be scattered all around the map. Now, it's important to note that this freezing can hit Clan Castle troops and heroes, however, only if the number of defenses remaining is less than 7. The flakes will fly right on past heroes to get to the closest defenses if there are still some standing. Also note that the Frost Flake will activate invisibility spell towers, although I wouldn't recommend using it for that sole purpose. So how exactly should you use this equipment? Whilst I do think there are pros and cons of this, it depends on the strategy you use and your playstyle. So I'll go through the methods I tested, and then ultimately what I think the best use case will be at the end. Firstly, I tried this with a Royal Champion dive, even though it's not meta now at Town Hall 18. It can save you an invisibility spell, get you 1 extra cycle, but really to trade out another piece of equipment, it's just not worth saving 1 invisibility spell. Alongside the Rocket Spear, I thought if you're trying to snipe off defenses on the perimeter, maybe you can use this as you're getting to a defense that normally outranges your Rocket Spear, but again, it helps you to take down that 1 defense where you could just use a freeze spell and then have a different piece of equipment for the Royal Champion as well. So it really feels to me like the Frost Flake will give you the best value when the Royal Champion is in the base itself alongside the rest of your army. Naturally, that could be if you just blend her in with Hog Rider attacks, for example. You're always going to get guaranteed value with the Frost Flake, or even at Town Hall 18 with the new Fireball Meteor Golem attack. I think it is harder to use than the Hog Rider puppet because this ability does not give you a second of invisibility and therefore a bit of a safety net if you're concentrating on a different part of the attack. However, this will give you guaranteed value in the base. The amount of times that my Hog Riders get spawned right into giant bombs becomes frustrating. Equally, trying to time the Rocket Spear in the middle of the base is trickier, especially because you're not using that as a backup plan to get the Town Hall, since at Town Hall 18 it's not a defense anymore. However, so long as you can keep track of your Royal Champion moving through the base, you can always get good value, whether that's for the Royal Champion or whether the Frost Flakes actually help with your main push moving through the base as well, because these might freeze defenses in the core if you time it correctly. Alongside the Frost Flake, the Electro Boots feels like the best combination. Even though you're not doing a Royal Champion dive, you're blending her in with the rest of your attack. But the Electro Boots helps to get rid of skellies, but it's the passive healing that helps. Because should you get the Royal Champion into a dangerous spot and you're using your invisibility spells to keep her protected, she can be increasing her health. That then helps you to get through traps, for example, as well. Whereas should you pair this with, let's say, the haste file to try and quickly take down those defenses while they're frozen, you don't get that passive healing for the Royal Champion. So for me, I will be using this alongside the Electro Boots when I'm sending the Royal Champion into the base with my army. for example, smash attacks, you do have to keep an eye and make sure you are triggering that ability. You don't get any kind of safety net, but it doesn't feel that effective if you're using the Royal Champion towards the perimeter of the base to solo an area. Ultimately, it's always great to see what the community comes up with though once this is in the hands of millions of players, so let me know if you have any ideas down in the comments, and I will place a recommended video from my channel on your screen. YouTube thinks you will like that one. Enjoy the rest of your day.